was involved in Young Life in the 1970s in Grand Blanc High School in Michigan. And I was one of the kids that sat in the back of the room, kind of wondered why those adults up front were singing those goofy songs.
I had just done everything to run away from God. I didn't really care about Him. All I cared about was life and what it would look like to have fun and try to be fulfilled in every way that I could.
I went to a private school, so I spent most of my time pretending that I was this great Christian person and did everything right, and I knew all the answers. And then when I wasn't at school, I didn't act like that at all. So I kind of lived a double life and kind of really didn't even know who I really was, because I was never the same person around everyone.
There was something wrong with my relationship. I knew who God was, grew up in the church, had a grandfather that was a Methodist pastor, and I knew of God, but I didn't have a relationship with God.
When I was in high school, I definitely saw God as more of like, I go to church so I know God, I'm a Christian. I didn't really understand that there was like a mutual relationship with God. I thought it was just like He was up there and I did the good thing.
My first time coming to Young Life, I felt like I was free, like I could just have fun without anybody judging me.
My favorite thing about Young Life is you don't have to try. Like at school, when you have to try hard to be something that's not, at Young Life it doesn't matter, because everybody accepts you for who you are.
When I was in high school, my senior year is 1974, this guy came up to our school and introduced himself as, in a group called Young Life, and wanted us to come and visit and come to one of his meetings. We all talked about it.
Young Life is just fun. You hang around your friends, hang around with Luke.
And our Young Life leader, she was there with us and just playing with us, and she was always there, and we had the best time. It was one of my fondest memories of high school, is playing on that team.
And I can remember the first time I met him. He had this crazy curly hair and goofy glasses, and he was doing a skit making us throw up. And I know that sounds like a strange memory, but we had so much fun laughing at ourselves and laughing at each other and competing in games that it just kind of stuck with me.
First time I met Miss Jessica was at Muckfest my freshman year, and she was throwing nasty stuff at me.
Oh, the first time I met Jessica, I think she was the most funniest, spirited person I think I ever met, and helpful, very, very helpful.
She would take time out of her day to just sit down with me and talk through really deep issues that I'd never ever thought about.
Luke, I had a broken arm. I broke it in 3 places. And Luke, he was just hanging out there on the fence and stuff. And he was like, "Hey guys, how's practice?" And he was like, "Cool."
I just remember being attracted to him and his personality. Didn't know exactly why, but I saw something in him that he had, just a confidence, just a comfort with himself that was just an attractive thing.
He really invested in our lives.
I feel like I could talk to her about anything I wanted to talk about, and she could understand where I was coming from. Even though she's older, she still understood, like me as a kid coming to her for advice.
She came to my soccer game, and I just remember being like, why in the world is she here? Like, I don't even go to Millington, and she drove all the way out to the middle of nowhere to come and watch me play soccer.
She immediately was nice to me and was very open, where I could talk to her, and we became friends.
The Young Life Camp was awesome. There were many activities to do there. I enjoyed being with my friends because these Young Life friends are probably the best friends I've ever had.
I'll never forget camp. It was summer camp. It was life-changing. I loved it.
And at the camp is when I gave my life to Christ.
I was too weak to handle this. I couldn't do it anymore on my own, and I had to fall on the Lord, and that's when I started my relationship with Him.
At Young Life Camp, I met Jesus, and my life will never be the same.
And my life will never be the same.
I gave my life to Jesus Christ, and my life will never be the same.
My life has never been the same.
I met Christ and my life will never be the same.
I will never forget my Young Life leaders, Tina Monroe, Tina Wilkerson now, and Lauren Gooch Crabtree.
My Young Life leader was a guy named Kit Sublett.
You know, I'll never forget his name. My leader's name was Kurt Kekuna.
I will never forget my Young Life leader, Lauren Crabtree.
Caitlin Faulkner.
Look sad, baby.
I'll never forget my Young Life leader, Charlie Patton.
Jessica Sadler.
Tisha Campbell.
I will never forget my Young Life leaders, Jeremy and Lauren Crabtree.
Luke Sadler and Dave.
Blake Spann.
And Dave Wilkerson.
I'm glad Young Life did not stop before I got to high school.
Before I got to my high school.
I'm so glad that Young Life didn't stop before I got to high school.
I'm glad Young Life didn't stop before I got into high school.
I am so glad that Young Life didn't stop before it came to my high school.
Before it got to my high school.
I hope Young Life doesn't stop before it gets to my high school.
And I really hope Young Life doesn't stop before it gets to my kids' high school.
I hope Young Life doesn't stop before I get to high school. I hope little life doesn't end until I get to high school. Before I get to high school.